Okay, hello everyone. We're so excited that you were able to come in and listen. I am Tania Wallace with DecoreWorks, and I am the COO of the company, which means I oversee all of the operations and what's coming in and going through our system. Which means I'm right at the middle of hearing all of the questions that our partners and our customers are having about what people are doing in the industry. And one question that we keep getting over and over is we see that Harmons Grocery is at the forefront of a bunch of these trends, and they're setting the standard to help their customers feel safe. What are some of the things that they're doing, or what are they thinking? And so instead of me trying to answer all of those questions, I have Lindy here. And Lindy is the Vice President of Marketing. And she has done an amazing job with evolving Harmons brand and creating a consistency across Utah with it. So Lindy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so like you said, I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Harmons, and I'm also an operating board member. So essentially what that means is not only am I involved in the marketing strategy for Harmons and the overall messaging and communication, but I also have a seat at the table in terms of determining operational and business strategy and have a voice in how we go to market. So that's been a really nice addition to my role with Harmons, because I really do think about the customer and what the customer is thinking and what the customer would want to see, which has been really helpful in the transition of coronavirus to kind of try to get in their mindset and understand what challenges they're facing right now.
Yeah, I mean, those are two very substantial roles to have. Wow. Okay, so can you tell us then, and basically what's happened over the last several months and what mindset you've had to change in order to adapt?
So I would say back in about February, we really started watching what's going on in the world and started thinking about what we needed to do to respond proactively. I really do have Mark Jensen, our COO, to thank for his forethought in that. He came to us in February and said, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And what do we need to do to be prepared? And Harmon's mission is to value its associates and exceed its customers' expectations. That's really where our focus has been through this entire process. First and foremost, what do we need to do to keep our associates safe? We are an essential business, which means that we needed to stay open so that we could provide our products and services to our communities. But what we did is we really started looking at the essential parts of our business, specifically what did we need to keep open and how could we best make that area of our business safe. So that was really kind of the guiding principle behind how we responded to this. And the planning started very, very early, before I think really a lot of places were concerned about what was going on.
Interesting. So how did this then affect your plans for your marketing for the quarter, for the next couple of weeks?
I would say it blew everything out of the water that we had planned, because of course with marketing, you're always several months ahead. In September, we're planning the holiday season. In December, we're really planning Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, those spring events. And so each quarter we have a specific message that we focus on. It's our quarterly campaign. We had been planning a Made Fresh in Store campaign, which highlights all of those great products that we serve in our fresh departments. And it's a very service-focused campaign about the people and what they're doing. And about the same time that all of this started happening, we made a decision as an operating board to suspend fresh product service. So we closed our delicatessen counters, our artisan bread counters, our meat service counters, which made that entire campaign obsolete overnight. So we had to pivot and really think about what we could do that would resonate with our customer base right now. And ultimately came up with the new campaign called Food is Everything. And we spun it up in about, well, it's been about 3 weeks. But it really revolves around the idea that in this particular moment, we're really going back to basics. If you think about Maslow's theory of hierarchy, right now we're worried about our physiological needs. We're worried about safety and security and just being protected. And food is central to that. So for us, we wanted to convey that we understood that and that we really are the place that people can come to get back to basics. So food is comfort, food is security, food is connection, it's life, and it's also essential. So we've created a new campaign we've never done before around these core tenets. And I think it's going to be really great and help people get through what we're up against right now.
Wow. So, what did you do, or what tools did you use to help your team react so quickly then? Because you had one campaign all ready to go, and now you're being required to go back to the drawing board very quickly to pivot. How, as a leader, did you lead your team, and what tools did you use?
I am extremely lucky to have a very talented team of people who are committed, who are creative, who are thoughtful, and who are very passionate about what we do. So having those resources in place, I think, has really been the main component that's allowed us to ramp up so quickly. We also do work with an agency, and that's been helpful because I think one of the benefits of having agency support is that when you do need to ramp up, you can do that. So I would say for us, having the talent and the plan, and then also having partners that can respond quickly, particularly as it relates to DecoreWorks, we had to install all of these new signs, all of these new directional arrows. There was just a lot of work that needed to be done overnight. I don't mean figuratively overnight, I mean literally overnight. And so working with your team and being able to request things, even in some cases not knowing exactly what we wanted, but we knew that we had a need that needed to be filled. So that was done on the fly and has been hugely beneficial and has allowed us to kind of respond quickly whenever we needed to. So we changed our store aisles to one way. Those directional arrows had to be put on the floor. We're enforcing social distancing in stores. And so having those dots in the lanes, and there's just been a lot of work that's been done literally overnight. So
Awesome. So how have doing those extra steps and on things that you typically don't do, all those the floor graphics and all the extra signage, how do you feel like that helps your customers feel safe?
I think people for the most part want to do their part in helping things be safe and helping others to feel comfortable and also helping to care for the health and well-being of our associates. But people just need to know what they're being asked to do. And if you are polite about it and say, this is our plan and please come in and help us help you shop safely. And these are the things that we're asking you to do. Please don't come within 6 feet of other people. Please be mindful of going down aisles one way. Please be mindful of staying behind those plexiglass barriers that we've put at the register so that our associates can do what they need to do safely. And please be patient with us as we sanitize everything in between every transaction. But for the most part, people have been overwhelmingly complimentary and overwhelmingly cooperative in terms of what we're asking them to do. They just needed to be asked to do it in order to do that.
Oh. So what are some of then the messages that you've used within your marketing that you feel like are helping them understand what to do? I noticed that you've done different things like with your associates' shirts, or you have signage within every department. How are you using your messages to then communicate that?
One of the biggest messages that's come out of this, I think, in a time when people are panic buying, that we've really kind of connected with, is the idea that kindness is always in stock. And so that is something that resonates both with our associates and our customers. And so a lot of the things that we have done have centered on that idea of what we're asking is actually kind. So keeping distance is a kind measure. It's something that you're doing to protect yourself and to protect other people in a time when we're so used to being face to face and shaking hands and interacting up close and personal. Reminding that if you're keeping your distance, you're actually not being unkind in doing that. So that's been helpful. And I think also just maintaining an attitude of positivity and helpfulness. Patience can be hard when things are crazy, and I think people get stressed out. So just reminding them to slow down and be patient and be kind, and we'll get through this together. And that's really the message we have tried to promote, is that we're there, we're thinking about all of the things that they're kind of worried about already, and doing it with kindness in mind.
Oh, that's genius. Because that really is at the center of why all of the lockdowns have happened, is to protect others as well as your family. And so that you've been able to take that and put it into a message that then helps you market and helps you connect and make your customers still feel safe. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So Harmons is widely known for the personal touch that everybody has. You can go up to the counters and you can have a whole dialogue on what to pair with your cheese. And all of your associates are very willing to help and to guide. How have you done this then to where you still have your same brand, and when you have your guests coming in, that you still keep that connection, though you have the 6 feet apart, and though you have all of these additional pressures on your operations?
That is a very fine dance to try and work through right now, because so much of what we do and so much of what sets us apart is that service focused interaction. And to some extent that has been mitigated in the store. We don't do sampling right now. We're not doing service counters. Our cooking schools are closed now through June 1st. And so it has been difficult. But that being said, our associates are still in the stores to answer questions. And what we're seeing is, for example, with the cooking schools being closed, those chefs are still working in the stores. They're just working in another capacity. So they're down on the floor helping customers know how to use ingredients, asking if they have questions, and really helping people find what they need. The other component I think that's been very helpful is the ability to serve our customers through eShop. So eShop is still available. It has been converted into kind of a contactless service. So that's been really nice. But allowing our customers to still use that service and make special requests and ask for things and ask for help in achieving their needs, I think has been kind of a good way to bridge that gap. And then of course our digital, our social media, we've been using that a lot as a way to communicate with our customers who have questions or needs. We typically see about 50 to 100 comments and questions per week on social media. And for really the surge of this period, we had been seeing 800 to 900 questions and comments coming through per day. So it's been really fascinating to see how people are finding new ways to connect. They're still reaching out, and we're responsive. So I think they're appreciating that.
Wow. Okay. So then that brings up, how has your team then, because I'm assuming you haven't hired anymore during this time. So your team now has even more responsibility. You're having to communicate even more. How have you helped keep the calmness within your own marketing team?
So a big part of it is prioritization. And with all of the changes that are coming in and all of the new things that we needed to do, some of the things that we had planned went away. So I think really it's just a matter of helping the team each week see what is most important and what needs to be tackled first. And so we kind of really put on hold some of those long-term projects that didn't have a hard deadline. And we've also reallocated some of our team resources to helping with social media. So our cooking school director, for example, she's not currently working with the schools to have active content and active classes. So she's jumped in and helped on the social media and to help field questions. She's got an amazing customer service background. So she was uniquely qualified to help with those questions. It's just a matter of getting creative. I think you have to think about the talent on your team and how they can be helpful in ways that they haven't normally had to contribute. But again, because I have such an amazing rock star team of people, they've been willing to jump in and help where they haven't normally had to be involved.
Wow. So your team then has had to amp up in a different way. How do you feel like this experience and everything that we've gone through is going to affect your team and then is going to affect Harmons as a company?
You know that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? I really do think that it's been magical to watch how much we can accomplish in a short amount of time. And I think when people are really put to the test, that ability to come through and achieve something that has never been achieved before creates a feeling of accomplishment. And in many ways, I think it has connected us and bonded us in a very productive, strengthening kind of way. I don't know that that would be the case if there hadn't been a plan, if there hadn't been a strategy, if there hadn't been leadership in place to help guide the ship. But I think anytime you get through rough waters safely, you're able to look back and say, you know what, that was really amazing that we accomplished that. So I think it's been strengthening for us as a team and as a company.
Wow. So do you feel like these precautions then, like the floor graphics you've put down and some of the extra measures, do you feel like that's going to last a while? Are those products just going to become a part of your in-store experience?
You know, it's kind of interesting how you come up with solutions that didn't exist before out of need. But then once they're in place, you do wonder how else you can leverage those solutions. I think there is an opportunity for us to rethink the way that we are putting signage in the stores and how customers are engaging and interacting with that content in new ways. We haven't done a lot of floor graphics. Floor graphics are difficult, especially in high traffic areas, just to keep them looking nice. But it is something that I've thought about a lot. Like, is it worth looking at short-term bursts for a specific and unique message that we want to promote during a period of time? Because anytime there's something new in a place that you've been repeatedly, you notice it. But if the same sign is there time and time and time and time again, it does kind of start to become background. So we're definitely going to take this experience and let it inform the ways that we are heard in the future.
Awesome. Okay, so if you were to take everything then that we've talked about and you were to offer advice or tools that you've used to another company and you were to boil it down into like 3 tools, what would you say is most important for other companies to utilize?
I think planning is the single most important thing. Having a plan, walking through the plan, making sure that all of the team members are on the plan and know what the process is going to be. So planning is definitely the most important thing. And then having the right people. I think people make all the difference. The ability to delegate certain tasks and know that those things will be cared for, and trusting the people who are in those roles to take care of them is essential. Planning people and then having kind of the processes in place to support it. If you have the infrastructure and it currently exists, then you can do things quickly. You can accomplish things quickly. So the partnerships, the planning, the people, all 3 P words.
That is awesome. Okay, I think those are the main questions that we've been having people ask us. You know, what you're doing with your in-store, and you mentioned that you're putting up new signage, you're doing one way, you're having the 6 feet markers. Were there any additional things that you've done then with your in-store experience?
Yeah, there are a lot of things. We changed our store hours to allow our associates to stock the shelves from a distance. We've asked our associates to wear masks. We've asked our customers to shop less frequently and to bring fewer people with them when they do shop. We've opened up senior and at-risk hours. We think that's really important to allow people who are at a greater risk of complications from COVID-19 to be able to come in and do their shopping safely. So we've done that. We also have had a couple of opportunities to donate items, which is serendipitous in a way. We had a private donor reach out with 3,500 thermometers that they had ordered, and they wanted help distributing them, but didn't really have an outlet to do so. So they contacted us to see if we would be able to help get those out into the community. So those were a free donation. But again, that required a tremendous amount of planning to make sure that it was organized and done in a safe manner. And then we happened to find, I think it was about 15,095 masks in our warehouse that we didn't remember that we had ordered back in 2009. I think they were like 14 years old, which we didn't know if they were still good, but apparently they are still good. So we were able to donate those to the communities for healthcare workers and first responders, which was really nice to be able to do. So we're thinking every day about ways that we can make this situation better, and safer and a little more comfortable for our customers and our associates.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time. This information, it's like everyone is just scrambling right now and trying to figure out what to do next. The next thing is that all of the restaurants trying to figure out what to adapt that the grocery industry has pioneered. So I think many businesses are going to be able to use these steps into their stores. So thank you.
You bet. Thanks for having me. And stay safe. Wash your hands.
For sure. Okay. Thank you, Lindy.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see ya.
Bye.